to an actor's notebook. So we're back with Nadia Duncan. Her Instagram will be somewhere below us, and you guys can follow her. Also, guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment down below anything that you think will that you want to know, any like helpful tips. I have some videos in the works that I'm planning to make, but I will always put your guys' needs first, whatever. I'm just here to help you. So I know I'm a good person. But yeah, so we're in New York right now, which is why the back is, we're in Nadia's home. So yeah, let's get it started. Kicking off part 2. I know like we ended with kind of like SAG and equity, so we'll jump back in and I'll finish asking Nadia some questions. Yeah. Okay, so we did talk about SAG being like $3,000 for you to become a member. I did tell you guys that I had one contract that if I would have gotten the role, which I got pretty far, so I was happy. If I would have gotten the role with this movie that was filming in Vancouver, which was like an action I don't know, one of those last people on Earth. So it would have been cool. But I was going to be a lead. And so it was mandatory that I become SAG. But because it was a lead, they were paying me enough so that it would take me very little time to become SAG. I could work 3 days without having to pay. So that's like, you have 3 days and then you have to be kind of like a SAG member. And we're going to give me 3 days. They were actually maybe going to extend me a week. But typically it's 3 days that you can work without it. But yeah, so they were giving me enough money so that I could pay it off like right away and then keep working. So that's just something to keep in mind. If that happens to you, don't worry too much. Now, if you're trying to do SAG and you've been an extra, maybe not gotten paid as much, you might want to wait a little bit. Yeah. Just because you qualify doesn't mean you have to have it. I mean, don't get me wrong, I think it's good to have, but it's not a necessity. People will still see you even if you are not a SAG member. I have one of the things that I am applying for now, for one of the casting directors reached out to me. One of the things that I'm applying for now, they're looking for SAG people. She knows I'm not a SAG actor, but she has said that it's okay because they hire non-union all the time, and just because it's so easy for them to be, SAG. So you don't need to have that like card for you to be qualified to get those roles. Just like I said for the EPA auditions, yes, it may make it easy. Theater's different though. Yeah, I was gonna say, like, it may make it easier, but it's also not. People will hire you even if you're if they want you, they will hire you. Yeah. But yes, so you were telling us about your work. So you told us about your web series. What else?
Yes. I'm also performing at the Duplex. If you are in New York City and you're interested in seeing me perform, I'm performing at the Duplex in Bound for Broadway. I am also a singer, so one of the things that as a singer I have been working on doing, and that a lot of singers who are aspiring to be on Broadway, off Broadway, etc., do is cabarets and workshops at music venues like the Duplex, like 54 Below, you probably heard of, the West End Lounge, you probably heard of. There's a few others in the city that are often frequented by, Broadway stars, upcoming Broadway stars, newcomers. And a lot of times it's like when you're on YouTube searching, your favorite star, and you see the video of them at 54 Below when they were 19 singing, and you're like, ooh, this was before they were famous. Like, people figured out that that's how people got big, so people are now doing it to get big. Like, that's their thing. So I am doing a performance at the Duplex. It's on July 21st through Bound for Broadway. So if you're interested, it's in the afternoons at 1 p.m. on that Sunday. Cover charge is $20. But yeah, so I'm going to be singing some new arrangements that were made for me actually by the music director at the Duplex over there, Bob Goldstein. So I'm really excited to be singing some new stuff. You want to hear me sing, you want to see video of me singing, definitely check out my social media, and I'll definitely share everything from that. But that's another thing, if you are a person who is interested in musicals, a big thing is people are going to want to see that you're doing cabarets, because that's kind of it's the way to get performance video when you're in New York City and you aren't a Broadway star who's in a whole bunch of shows. and you need enough performance video to show to people and to show to agents to say like, look, this is me, this is examples of my performance, because they typically want something a little more professional than like a self-tape or like a video of you singing at home. Like they want like an audience, and they want an accompanist, and they want, even if you have, you know, other vocalists performing with you or instrumentalists performing with you, so that's like a whole other side of the performing thing. If you are a singer, actor, and you're interested in like Broadway musicals or tours or whatever, I can talk about that if you have people interested in that. But that's the other thing that I'm working on right now.
Okay, so I wanted to ask you, because as I've said in the last vlog, she does not have an agent. And I have told you like my thoughts on having an agent and just starting out. You can check out my vlog. I'll put a link down in the description for that other vlog about agents if you missed it. But for right now, I want to ask you, why do you not have an agent? And how does it benefit you?
Okay, so why? Because I don't.
You also never sought it out.
I didn't. I think one of the big things for me is that now agents / and or managers, because they're slightly different, kind of the same things, or different. I don't know if you explained to them what the difference was, or is that some of them have contracts under which you cannot self-submit. Now, it depends on the agent. Some do, some don't. But I know a lot of the ones in New York City tend to not allow their clients to self-submit. And what that means is that the person cannot go on any auditions that are not chosen by the agent. Now, for someone like me who is not, like, doesn't have a super huge resume, doesn't have a lot of experience already, doesn't have a lot of connections already, that to me is honestly kind of a bad thing. Because a lot of times when agencies take on new artists who don't have long resumes, don't have a lot of connections, just, you know, are young and fresh out of school, whatever, they don't really prioritize them, because they might have much more higher profile clients who they're constantly sending out for, you know, films and for Broadway and for all this stuff. And if they have 100 clients and you are just this one kid that they saw at a college showcase and they don't really care about you, they might send you on one audition a month. You know, I know a few people from our school who do have representation and barely audition for anything, and they aren't really getting seen, but they can't go ahead and like do things on their own because they're not allowed to, or they have to like pay their agent a certain cut every time they do it. It's just something that becomes a little more complicated. So for someone who is new to the game and doesn't really have a lot of experience, for me personally, that was not ideal. Now, at a certain point in my career, if I'm at the point where I, you know, have a lot of work, maybe I'm currently in a tour, I'm currently in a production, I'm currently like working on projects, and I don't have time to audition or look for auditions or work on that stuff, that would be beneficial. But for me, at this point in my career, it's not. And also, additionally, one of the things that an agent will do for you if you're a theater actor is they will make appointments with equity houses for you for EPAs. So they can kind of circumvent the whole EPA, waiting in line, signing on the list, doing all this stuff process for you, which can be really great. But as an equity actor, I can already make appointments for myself. So having somebody else do it for me isn't really like that beneficial for me. Because to me personally, I'm an organized person. I'm a person who's super passionate about what I'm doing, and I would rather choose the auditions myself, make the appointments myself, know that all of my appointments work for me, because also, you know, agents will just, you know, call you or email you, be like, hey, you have an appointment tomorrow at 11, and if you had work tomorrow at 11, you just gotta figure it out, because, you know, so for me, when I'm making appointments for myself, I know my work schedule, I know my filming schedule, I know when I need to be doing certain things, so I don't have to worry about being like, oh, I have to throw everything away tomorrow because I got this appointment, versus knowing in advance because I know my own schedule.
Yeah.
So for me personally, it hasn't really been something I'm super like pressed about doing. I have gone to Agents Access at Actors Equity, which is a specific series of auditions that they do. They do maybe like 2 per month, 2 or 3 per month. They're always on Mondays. There's actually one this coming Monday. Which basically is a required audition that every agency in New York City does, that does theater, the ones that represent theater. And they, yeah, someone's like tap dancing upstairs. And they basically have, this is for equity members only, so there's no EMCs and there's no non-equities for these calls. They have anyone who is unrepresented, so it can't be somebody who's represented but like doesn't like their agent or wants a new agent or wants an additional manager or whatever. It's not for those people. It's for someone who has nothing at all. And you do your best song for them, and then they say whether they, are interested in seeing you or not interested in seeing you or whatever. They typically do 2 to 3 agencies at each audition, and it's pretty cut and dry. It's the same process as an EPA. You go in, you can make an appointment or be on the alternate list. You're seen, you sing, they say thank you, you leave,
Now, you can also do things like that as a non-equity, non-union actor. It's a little different. So you'll see, like, first you have to audition for, like, the people who are creating this event. You have to audition for them first. And then if they choose you, you have to pay to be in it.
Yes, a showcase.
So, yeah. So you have to pay to be in it, and then they'll invite a bunch of agents, casting directors, and some companies, and then you perform basically the same thing. It's just like an APA. So you perform your monologues or whatever, whatever monologue got approved or whatever song, and then if they reach out to you, then they'll reach out to you. It's all in the hopes of getting an agent or getting the attention of a casting director who's looking for like maybe this one role, and then you fit it, and then it's like, oh, wonderful. Mm-hmm. But I haven't personally done any of those. I will do one, and I'll talk about it after I do it. I will do one in like 2 months. It's not for agents. It's just for theater companies and casting directors for films and television. They all sit in a room, this long table, it's like 12 of them. And then I'm gonna go in and do it, and it was really cheap. Some of them will also have discounts depending on for certain things. It's all different. Sometimes it might even be just like if you attended these certain schools, because like they're like alum and they're like, I'm gonna rep for my school. Other times it could just be like, I don't know, you got a deal it's through this week that you can get this discount because they want more people to apply. Or maybe they just haven't filled their quota. Maybe they said no to a few other people and they were like, just need you to fill in some, it's all up to them. They just have to make it, it's a business.
Do they sometimes do like union discounts as well?
Yeah, they'll do union discounts as well. It depends on where it is. The one that I'm doing is, I believe, oh God, I need to check, my notebook. But I believe it's in Atlanta. So, I don't think that they were doing a union discount for this one. But I have seen one. There was one in Washington and there was one in Seattle. Different places. Washington D.C. and then Seattle.
That's why I was like,
that were doing it and having an equity, discount. So even equities can join that, but it's for non-unions. Basically, if you're trying to do that, absolutely you can do that. Sign up if you like it. I'll tell you guys after I do it what the experience was like because I haven't experienced it yet. But so. But yes, so I wanted to ask you, God, I had 2 things and then we started talking and then I just like focusing on other stuff. Right. So I'll ask the first question. This is the question I wanted to end on. Maybe I'll edit it, turn it around, and make it in. We'll see. All right. If I didn't, behind the scenes. So I wanted to ask you what like words of advice, like if you had 3 things that were very important that you want to tell anyone that was starting in this business, what would they be? I know I did 3 like this. Creativity. I would say work smart, not hard. I would say that, there's so many different avenues to get into this business. And it's also really depending on who you are, what are your skills? And you need to really discover who that is in yourself and whether you need a certain program, whether you need a certain school, whether you need a certain mentor or a certain coach or whatever it is that helps you discover what those skills are for you personally, because it's different for every person. You need to know how to be decisive about
what is the smartest way for you to get in, because you have a niche, whatever that is. If you have a really unique talent, or you're a really unique type, or you have, you know, some sort of really special training that you did, maybe you're an excellent figure skater, or you know, have a lot of experience with animals, you have a lot of experience in music, you have a lot of experience in writing, like there's going to be something that for you specifically is going to be your way in, and you have to be decisive and be smart about what you're pursuing. I would say the second thing is to surround yourself with people who support you, because it's very hard being in this business and then also having everyone you know be like, you know, like this is not a good career choice, or like you should have like a second choice, because this is not like, you shouldn't. And even if that's your family,
just be like, this is my second choice.
Even if it's your family, like you need to surround yourself with people who are either like in the same game as you, or who at least like support what you're doing, and they're like really just there for you, because it's hard. And like sometimes I come home and I'm like so broken, I'm just like, why am I trying to do this, like, you know. And you need to be around people who keep you going and who keep you on the right path, that you know you can do it, but you just need the support outside of yourself. Everybody needs that. And I would say finally the third thing would be to not lose the joy. Because like at the end of the day, like whenever in your life you decided that this was what you wanted to do, it was because you loved it. Like, I know that all this stuff we're talking about, like unions and auditions and showcases and, you know, how do I join this and how do I do that and how do I get cast and how do I get an agent, like all that stuff is really confusing and hard and expensive, and it kind of makes it not fun. But acting is fun. Like, this is why you want to be here, because you love it and you love creating a character and living through different worlds and being all sorts of different people other than just your one self, you know. And
I mean, you get to play make-believe.
Yeah,
Every
for fun.
single-
Yeah.
For hopefully one day.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that's special. And, you know, for people who want to be actors, a part of you kind of never grows up, because you can't. You see the world a little differently, and you can't change that in yourself. That's just who you are. That's just something on the inside of you looks at the world this way. And if you do, I mean, you were meant to do this.
Yeah.
Don't give up. Everyone has very hard times. Like, there's no, even if you think that it's easy for someone else, there's no one who has ever had to stop working.
Right.
It's the business.
Yeah.
You can't do it. It's hard, and anything worth having is going to be tough. You know, but if it's for you, if this is what you want with your to do with your life, is what you love, then just take a shot. The worst that can happen is you don't, and then you just think, well maybe,
Right.
and then you see that one show when you're like 30 years from now, after you've given up, you see that one like actor in that show, and you're like, man, I could have done that.
Yeah.
You don't want to have that moment where you're like, I could have done that if I just kept going. I'm reading a new book, and I'm going to tell you guys about it in another vlog, because I want to introduce it to you guys, because it has some very beautiful ideas about dreams. Yeah, I'll tell you later.
Okay.
And about how you are the only person who can determine how big or little your dream is going to be. And so I'll talk about that a little bit more, because I think there's something in it that you guys could really get out of it. I'm going to put it in my interpretation, but I also, if you want to read the book, absolutely. But let's say thank you to Nadia.
I'm so happy.
Great.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. I can't live. I can't. I can't stay at a place for a week. But yeah. Plus, you know, we're helping people out. But yeah, thank you so much. Again, her Instagram, I'll put it in the description, but also
She's my
on the
name.
screen. And if you want to follow her, please do check out what she's doing. And also, guys, don't forget to comment down below. Tell me if this is helpful. Give it a thumbs up. Also, comment down below anything that you want to hear me talk about. I want to put you guys' preferences first. So yeah, I'm in New York now. As I said before, I was coming to New York, doing the auditions and whatever. So I'm gonna have another vlog. My next vlog will kind of be a little bit of review of what I did and what went over, and talk to you guys about a few stuff like that, pictures, videos. You'll get them. But yeah, so I hope this helped you guys, and thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you.